Hey, what's up? I mean you can't see it. I've done a very good job of blocking out the whole setup here, but I've got my keyboard in front of me right here. Leaning up against the screen is the phone. And what I'm about to do right now is indulge in my feelings in a bit. So I'm just going to do that. And while I do that, I'm going to hit record. I don't know if you could hear that, but basically I'm going to just talk. It's recording. The microphone is right here, and I don't know. I'm just going to talk about my feelings and hope that it's all good. Listen, I've been pretty frustrated lately because there's not a lot going on in my life, and I don't know how to feel about that because on the one hand I don't know what I want, and then on the other hand I feel like I do know what I want, and I'm constantly battling the ideas against each other. What do I want versus like not knowing what I want. I think I know what I want, but I just don't want to pursue it. And it might be because of fear. It might be because I don't want to waste my time. And I don't know. That's kind of silly because it's like, well, just pursue it. Just go for what you're after. And there's no such thing as wasted time in life. There really isn't, because it all matters. Everything matters, and there's no such thing as wasted time because there's no insignificant parts of life. Like, we're all alive, and I'm living. So no matter what I choose to do, I'm gonna do it, and there's not gonna be a such thing as a wasted time. And who knows where those avenues might lead. So I've got a microphone in front of me, and I am recording, and I've got the MIDI here. Um, I don't wanna put a label on it. I don't want to put a label on what I'm doing here per se, and so it's interesting. I kind of want to break down what what is so interesting about like speaking in a rhythm and a tone. It's not the same as singing, and to do it on rhythm and on beat, there's something hypnotic about it. It's kind of like a primal thing where we all engage in it in sort of like a ritualistic sort of way. Intellectuals are less prone to do that when you know more about the world, and your knowledge is full, like your database, then you're less prone to go dumb, to go silly, which is honestly what being like into music is. Like, you're giving yourself to a ritual per se. Like when you go and see a concert and you go see these artists and they put on a show, they're putting on a show, and it's ritualistic. Like, you're allowing yourself to be hypnotized by the Pied Piper. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to do that per se. I don't want to hypnotize or put anyone under a spell or under a trance. But at the same time, like, I don't know what else to do with these feelings that I have inside. They get to be a lot, and I just don't know how to express them. And especially at this point in my life, when I can't like afford therapy. Like, I don't really have an income coming in right now. So that's frustrating, right? If I were to try to hypnotize you or put these feelings out, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Like, there is no judgment, right? So if I was to go into the entertainment industry in this way, because I already am in the entertainment industry, but right now I'm primarily a children's entertainer. But if I were to go into this direction where I put my feelings onto a digital recording and put that behind music, you know, there's no judgment, right? It's just whatever it is, it is. Um, I can allow myself to go dumb for a second because it's in the because feelings aren't really logical. Feelings are pretty dumb as it is, but for whatever reason, nature has chosen for us to be emotional creatures. We have so many different emotions. Like, I think that's what separates us from every other animal. Not necessarily in terms of like intelligence, because some make the argument that our ability to communicate, right, separates us from other animals. But just because we use language as a form of communication doesn't mean we're more intelligent than other animals who use different forms of communication. They just use different forms of communication. Like some animals use sound. Some animals communicate through, I don't know, echolocation, or I don't know, vibrations in the air or something. Like it's just different ways. So I think what separates humans, the main thing from all the other species in the world, is our emotions, where we have the capacity to experience pain, to experience anger, to experience, like, think about it, we have so many different ways to describe emotion. Like, you're not just angry, you might be frustrated, you might be sad, right? You might be more than sad. You might be feeling melancholy, or if you're excited, you might be kind of excited, which is just excited, or you could be feeling jubilatious, or experiencing jubilation, which is like profound, and or you could be experiencing euphoria. Like, there's so many different types of emotions that humans can experience, that the tiger can't experience it, you know. Other animals have feelings for sure, but not to the extent that we do. And it just sucks that our feelings are not very logical. They're not logical. And for me, I'm someone who likes to feel in control. And so to be emotional means to like let go of that control. And anything can happen when that happens. So um, I just hope that my moral compass is always going to be working, and I'm always going to be looking at that. Um, but it's just really interesting to, because I don't indulge in my emotions. And the brain is like, okay, that's fine. You don't have to indulge in your emotions, but sooner or later you're gonna, and you're not gonna have any control over it. So I kind of want to avoid that, because that's, I don't know. It's I don't know. In my opinion, it's better to like slowly let the floodgates open, as opposed to let the dam burst all at once. And in this case, the emotions are the water. So I'm gonna slowly let it out, little by little, instead of the whole thing. But who knows? When I start to get more and more comfortable with this whole thing, we'll see what happens. It's not bringing me any money right now, and so like that's a factor in my decision making process. I tend to hate myself when I'm not doing stuff that's making money, but it's also like, how I'm choosing to spend my time. And I don't know. It's interesting to be able to spend my time in this way, because I can spend my time this way, and I'm thankful for it. But I'm also having my head in the, because I'm ambitious, and so I want a lot, and there's nothing wrong with wanting a lot. And so another thing that I deal with is like, I don't know, man. Like, listen, I was raised and I grew up through academia. Like, I wasn't raised by the streets. I like lived, quote unquote, in the hood, but I wasn't raised by the hood. You know, I I spent no more than 3 years at any one location. I kept on moving further and further west, or east, I should say. Um, Not like my physical location, but I mean like my educational experience. Academia really raised me. That's where I got most of my social skills, and like I paid attention in school. I got good grades. I didn't really start taking school seriously though until I got into high school, because then that's when shit started getting serious. And then college was on my mind, so I started to do that. Mm. And so this is all a very new experience for me. Even now, I'm kind of like holding back. I don't want to necessarily rap. which is ultimately what I've been avoiding using that word rap, right? Because rhyming is such a I go back and forth with it because it feels childish, but it's also a way to express emotion, right? So like I like hate myself for it, but I mean it's just a really tough time. But it's better to like at least I'm like putting myself in this situation where I have to confront these complicated feelings that I have as opposed to just like doing nothing. Because I could be doing nothing. I could just be avoiding doing this. But listen, it's the afternoon, and this isn't a bad way to spend my time at all. Um, and so when I was in college, I was rapping more. I don't know why per se, but um, I don't know. I guess we don't have any control over time. Time is gonna move with or without us, and it does influence the mind. And so now I'm 30, and there's that midlife crisis feeling where it's just like, oh, should I continue to try and pursue rap, or should I like be an adult, quote unquote, and like work a job, work a 9 to 5? But I mean, there are no limitations. Um, there really aren't any rules um, to how to go about life. Sure, there are like guides, right? There are people who have like taken this path before, and we can look at those paths, but ultimately like it's up to us. And I know for me specifically, like I get so frustrated, and I don't know why. I get into my own head, and it's not rational or logical, and it's like tough, man. It's actually kind of terrible, and like it gets to a point where I feel like I need to cry about it. So anyways, I've talked a lot. I can't even say that I was productive or anything, but I don't know. I'm gonna go write in my journal, and and I don't know. I'll see where I post this because I've also created a social media page dedicated to just my music, and I don't know if I'm gonna upload this to that specifically. I mean, it is like centered on music. Um, I don't know. I feel like a fool. I feel like I don't. I'm like I feel like I'm not doing anything. I feel like I'm and like I feel like if I am doing something, it's wrong. I just feel like a loser. I feel like I could be doing more. Um, and at the same time, I'm like holding myself back. So I don't know. It's a cycle that I've been in for a long time. Um, call it fear, call it whatever. I don't know. I'm probably gonna be in this cycle for a while. So I don't know. I don't know. Like I want to break out, but I don't know. I guess I'm trying, and honestly, I feel like what I just did right now sucks. I don't know. I'm so judgmental of my own self, um, and I don't really know where it stems from. So hopefully, the more and more I do this, the less I'll be judgmental of myself, and the more I put myself out there in this way. You know, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, and I just really just need to trust myself, and I need to be happy for myself. I need to love myself, and I need to like look forward to who I could be in this space, whatever space I put myself in. And it's really up to me. Like there's no judgment. Like whatever I want to do, I'm allowed to go and pursue it. Um, yeah, I mean the biggest roadblock I'm facing at the moment is my own damn self. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Um, there ain't nobody here who's who's helping me with this. So it's tough. It's tough being a one man army. Um, so we'll see. It's just one day, one session. Um, there's still a lot of time left in today, and I want to be keeping track of how I'm spending my time, and I want to feel good about how I'm spending my time. So there it is.